Hey everybody, welcome to Movie Time. I'm Sean. Alright guys, so it was announced this week that Adam Sandler, the king of comedy, in this day and age apparently, has signed a deal with Netflix to star and produce 4 upcoming original content films for Netflix. Happy Madison, his production company, will be working with Netflix on these films. He will be starring. I'm sure he'll be an executive producer on all these, and he's probably going to make a boatload of money with these as well. Now, regardless of whether or not you've been liking his most recent movies over the last 5-10 years, statistics show that he's one of the main money makers in movies these days. People go see his movies regardless of them being good or crap. So for Netflix to do this, they know what their target audience is. They decided that they want to hit those target audience, and they're doing it. So I have a feeling that these are going to be very successful films in the realm of Netflix, as well as with money. I'm sure they're going to get some subscribers on because of this. Now, will this mean it's going to be a good movie or not? It doesn't mean anything. It just means that this is going to be locked down. This is going to be a deal. They could still be real crappers of a movie when they come out. Adam Sandler hasn't really been in very many good projects in quite a while. Last good project I remember him in is probably Spanglish. But his comedies have been going downhill for a while now. So, I mean, some of my favorite Adam Sandler movies are from the 90s. You know, we're talking 15 years ago or more. That's a long time ago, and I just don't know if he can do it anymore. You know, he's been doing a lot of stuff. It seems to be family-oriented, and so you have a lot of families going to watch stuff. But at the same time, it seems like he's just lost his that whatever it was that grabbed people, his comedic charm. Hopefully with this deal he can be, you know, let loose with some more creative people that have to do with Netflix, because Netflix does pretty good with all their stuff they're coming out that is their own original content. So hopefully they have a team that can work with Adam Sandler and can put something really funny, really good together. Robert Downey Jr., RDJ, was on Ellen earlier this week, and on Ellen, while there, he confirmed Iron Man 4, but hold on to your horses. There's a couple things that happened that day as well. Later on that day, he was on David Letterman's show, and he denied that Iron Man 4 wasn't coming out. But on both shows, he did say that Marvel is very secretive. They are working on a lot of things, and he does plan on doing other stuff with Marvel. Also, when he was on Ellen and he made this confirmation, Ellen was kind of forcing him into it, kind of jabbing him with this. So he said yes, and then he made a face. He said yes, and then he made a face, like kind of like, okay, whatever, kind of face. So, you know, I do believe that RDJ is going to be doing stuff with Marvel. He's already been signed on for Avengers 3, and I really would like for them to set up an Iron Man 4 before it gets too late, before he decides he doesn't want to do it anymore, because I think there's a lot of story in there that they could still do, especially regarding the Mandarin. I have high hopes for, you know, Iron Man, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. I hope that something comes out in the future, you know, confirming Iron Man 4. And I just want everybody to know that some of this stuff is said in jest when he talks about these things. So, you know, take everything with a grain of salt, you know, do your research, look what's happening in the grand scheme of things, and go from there. The Iron Man franchise is one of the franchises that kind of put superhero movies on the map in recent years. I mean, the superhero movies have been made for quite a while, but Iron Man was the one that brought it back and made it feasible to make a profit, make a very lucrative film franchise. So, again, I really enjoy the series. I enjoy him as Tony Stark. You know, he's made some statements recently about how it is kind of an extension of him, a cooler version of him. So I do want to see him really have a growth to this character, and you know, have the franchise, this movie, just expand and get bigger and better. You know, there's so many stories out there for this franchise. It's been announced this week that Joaquin Phoenix is out for the role of Stephen Strange. Now, when it was spoken about, I talked about it myself, that he was one of the front runners. I can't remember my initial feelings about this, but at the point of hearing this, I could feel like I had come to terms with it, because I was kind of like, oh, well, he would have been pretty interesting as, you know, Doctor Strange. But at this point, you know, there are a lot of good actors out there that could play this role. I would definitely like to see some of the names that Marvel has in mind for this role. Previously, Marvel has had names attached to the role like Benedict Cumberbatch, Tom Hardy, and Jared Leto. All great actors. So the fact that Joaquin Phoenix, another great actor, stepping out of this role, I mean, it doesn't make me too sad, and I'm still trusting in Marvel to come up with some really grade A actor to fill this role. All right, guys, and last bit of news this week, X-Men Apocalypse news. Simon Kinberg said in an interview this week that one of the main focuses of X-Men Apocalypse is going to be on the Mystique and Beast relationship. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about movies, but I know that I do not like it when a movie that has such potential to be even bigger than what the last one was. I don't like it when they are gonna now have a focal point of this film be some love interest and minimize it to that little itty bitty thing. What can happen in Apocalypse that's gonna have to revolve around Mystique and Beast, other than just them having a chemistry in there? And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see a romance movie. I don't want to see a rom-com. This is X-Men, for crying out loud. I want to see some action. I want to see a storyline that's based on something heavy, something more than just two people that kind of like each other. And also, on top of that, in real life, they used to be together. They're not together anymore. How, did they split amicably? I don't remember if they did or not. Is this going to be cool with them? You know, they're going to be all up, hot and close and hot and bothered, and I don't know. All I know is that I don't think that this is a great idea. If they're going to be putting this in there, maybe make it like, you know, strange, longing eyes from afar where they're like, oh, I miss you. But, you know, I don't want to see this movie based around this relationship. This movie needs to be based around Apocalypse, where he comes from, what he's trying to do, what he's trying to accomplish, why he feels the way he feels about being the greatest, bestest, baddest of all time. Because, I mean, essentially he is. It's going to take everybody to beat him. I don't know. This is a bit of a downer. I don't want this to be true. I don't want this to be true at all. Alright guys, now it's time for trailers. There were a few trailers this week that really caught my attention. First off, a really heavy one. It came out the same day that I posted, it was that evening when I posted last week's video, American Sniper starring Bradley Cooper. It's based on the stories of America's deadliest sniper that he's actually alive, and it's a real thing. So it's based on that. It's going to be directed by Clint Eastwood, and I gotta say, this trailer looks pretty heavy.
Whoa, this is heavy. There's that word again, heavy. Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
Right off the bat, I mean, you're already dealing with a situation in just the trailer that is something that's incomprehensible for a person in my situation, never being in the military. So this movie looks like it has a lot of potential. I really hope that he's able to pull it off, Clint Eastwood. I think Bradley Cooper's going to do a pretty damn fine job in this movie. He's been proving his acting chops over the last 5 years, give or take. So I'm really looking forward to this movie to see what it has to offer. Second trailer that caught my attention this week is called Tomorrowland. This one is a Disney film. Now, the synopsis on this one is a little bit weird. It's based on two characters who have a shared experience, a shared memory, and something of that sort. It was really kind of weird when I read the synopsis of it, but the trailer looks pretty interesting, and it looks like it's going to have some nice CGI effects. I'm pretty interested in this one, and Disney's been doing a great job with their movies lately, so I do not worry regarding the quality of this film. The next film is Focus, starring Will Smith. That's right, Will Smith, back in acting. He hasn't been in a movie since After Earth. So yeah, that was his first film in a while too. So he picks and chooses when he's gonna act, and ever since Pursuit of Happiness, I feel like he's become a better actor. You know, you got I Am Legend, Pursuit of Happiness 7, then you have After Earth, which might have been a flop to a lot of people, and now you have this one, and this one looks like it's gonna have some meat to it. It's gonna be based on some con men and the whole con game, and it's got starring Margot Robbie in it, the beautiful, wonderfully sexy Margot Robbie. So yeah, this movie looks interesting. Will Smith, hopefully he can bring back the charm and the seriousness from Ali and Pursuit of Happiness, and he can just blow our socks off. And the last trailer this week is this trailer called for a movie called Sex Ed, starring Haley Joel Osment. So he's making a comeback as well. I don't know. I mean, this one looks interesting. Like you can tell it's Haley Joel Osment, but he looks like a totally different person from when he was younger. He's chubby. He's got chest hair. It's just weird. He's actually an adult now. This movie does look very interesting, considering he's playing a sex ed teacher who doesn't get none and might be construed as a virgin. It's a funny looking story, funny looking premise, and I am interested in this one. This one's actually coming out in theaters, on digital download, and iTunes on the same day. So this one might not be expecting, you might not be expecting a big, box office weekend from this one, but I do expect some creativity with this one. Alright guys, and in theaters this week you have 3 movies that are they're doing a pretty good job of spreading their advertising out there, their marketing. First off, you got The Judge, Robert Downey Jr.'s production company with his wife. It's their first film that they're doing. I really am looking forward to this one. It's not getting so many great reviews right now. It's kind of lukewarm, I guess you would say. And so, but I'm still looking forward to this. You got Robert Duvall in there as well. A lot of good actors in there. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Second movie you have coming out this week is Dracula Untold, starring Luke Evans. This is going to be like a new little telling of the Dracula story. So I'm pretty interested in this one. Word has it that this is going to be the launching off point of the new monster universe starring Dracula, the Mummy, Frankenstein, Wolfman, and all these other characters that Universal has had in the past. So I hope it does well, and I hope that they can branch off from this one. Of course, if they were to do the other ones, all the movies are going to have to take place in the past, but hopefully they can figure something out. I really hope that this all comes to fruition and they can do this. And the third movie that's a pretty big movie, I think, that's coming out in theaters this week is called The Alexander blah 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 Bad Day. The title is super weird and long. It's essentially Alexander period bad day. This movie looks interesting. It doesn't look like it's gonna be anything like bend over backwards, break your back funny. It's not gonna be Neighbors, 22 Jump Street, or anything of that nature. It looks like it's gonna be a good family comedy, and you know what? I think those movies can be just as funny as any other R-rated comedy, and so I'm really interested in this one. I have a feeling that this one is also going to have some good morals behind it as well. And I know this is funny that I'm saying all this stuff, but I do want to see a movie like this every now and then. So I have high hopes for this movie as well. Hopefully it does well this weekend, and hopefully I can see it pretty soon. All right, everybody, that's it for movie time this week. Remember to click the like, share, subscribe button down below. Leave your comments, questions, suggestions in the comment sections. Stay tuned to the channel for movie of the week. Let's have a great conversation this week. We'll see you next time.